Here's a play out of the gun doubles Y off nasty that's called Snag Halfback Wheel. Now, this particular play we're about to show is one of these plays where we can get a one-score touchdown. But what's really cool about this particular play, it's not going to be to one of the receivers, but we're going to be able to hit the halfback on the wheel route down the left sideline for that big play. The play that we use for this video breakdown is out of the gun doubles Y off nasty, and the name of the play is called Snag Halfback Wheel. You'll find this particular play out of just one playbook, and that happens to be the Lions offensive playbook. The gun doubles Y off nasty Snag Halfback Wheel is a play that can really get a chance to having a big play deep down the field, in particular the halfback. And you'll notice as you look at your screen right here, he runs a wheel route out here towards the left, and he is the play's primary receiver. And as he breaks up the field, a lot of times as he gets deep down that sideline, as you're dropping back to quarterback, you're going to find him open where you can make this throw. So for example, here we are, we're dropping back to quarterback right here. And then what we're looking for, especially against cover 0 or cover 1 coverages, in this particular case, this is cover 0. I'm running the nickel 2-4 over Storm Brave. With this particular defense, it is a cover 0 defense. So with no safeties playing the deep halves, a lot of times you can find him wide open. Obviously, though, you're going to have time to make that throw. And I'm going to show that here later in the video breakdown, how you're going to do that. But with that said, what you're going to do is you're going to look to throw deep down the field in this area here for a big passing play. And as I said, this is a good chance where you can end up catching it, especially if you got a fast running back, and go in for the score and for an easy touchdown. So what I want to do here is I'm going to run this play without making any adjustments at all. And like I said, I'm going to run this against the nickel 2-4 over Storm Brave, pretty popular blitz, a lot of pressure coming here with the 6-man pass rush, but I don't want to make any adjustments. Now, the other thing before I actually run the play, I do want to point out there are some other routes that we need to look at just real quick. And you have these two receivers on the left. Now, what they're going to run is hook routes. They're just going to go up a couple of yards up the field, 4 to 5 yards, whatever, and then they're going to hook back towards the quarterback. These routes are actually going to be important, as you see later in the video. What's going to cause the defender that might be covering the running back, he may end up getting picked by one of these guys on occasion. So that's something you want to kind of watch out for. Now, against zone coverage, those might be the guys you look to throw to, depending on if they're playing a soft zone versus a hard flat. For example, maybe they're playing a hard flat versus a soft flat. If they're playing a hard flat against zone coverages, they wouldn't be open. If they're playing a soft flat, then they should be open. Now, as you work your way over here towards the right, you're going to have this tight end right here. He runs a hook route as you look at it. So he's also running a hook route. And then the receiver to the right of him, he runs a quick out. Now, against man coverage, if the running back is not open, say they come out and cover 2-man, you don't read the coverages, maybe they're doing a good job at disguising it, then this receiver would be someone you might consider throwing the ball to. Now, there's some other things you can do. We'll talk about that later in the video breakdown. But for now, like I said, I'm going to run this as is without making any adjustments. So let's go ahead and run this, and then we'll go after that. Now, what's going to happen here, I can tell you right now, we're going to get pressure because I only got 5 guys pass blocking. It's going to come from that linebacker there, coming up through that B gap. Right there, I didn't have enough time to make the throw. So if you see something like that, you're going to have to make some adjustments. Now, what I could have done with this play, had I thrown it out fast enough, I could have tried to dump it over here to the wheel route, maybe pick up a couple of yards here. He just broke the tackle, but he should have been tackled. Obviously, he goes in for a score there, but he should have been tackled, to be honest with you. If we go ahead and the other option would have been, again, if I see the blitz coming, something I could consider doing is maybe throwing it to the outside here and just trying to complete it for as far as a quick play over to the right to the guy running the out route right there. So what I want to do next is I'm going to show you guys what you can do, especially against these cover 0 blitzes where they're going to get a lot of pressure real quick, and how to counter that and still end up getting a big passing play to the running back. All right, to get ourselves enough time to make the throw deep down the field to the running back running that wheel route on the left side of the screen, we need to get a 6-man pass protection scheme to counter this blitz, this nickel 2-4 over Storm Brave. And to do that, one of the things I like to do is to hot route the tight end to stay in the pass blocks. This is what I'm about to show on your screen here as you look at it. So let's go ahead and do that with the tight end. And now you can see that he's staying in the pass block. And what this is going to allow us now to do here is to give us enough time to make this throw. Let's go back into the screen here so I can show this to you. So this is going to give us enough time to make this throw against this blitz. So let's go ahead and look at the pass rushers now with this nickel storm over Brave. And so you'll have these guys rushing the quarterback. These are the two linebackers. They're both blitzing. And then you're going to have these guys right here, these offense or defensive linemen, all coming after the quarterback. So these guys right here are all going to be coming in. So that's going to give them a six-man pass rush. What we need to do is make sure that we can counter this with that six-man pass protection scheme, such as what you're seeing on your screen as I'm showing here. And now we got a six-man pass protection scheme. Now, one of the things you can do is you can run it like this, and that's what I'm going to do initially, where the tight end is staying over there on the right-hand side. Now, with that said, you're not going to get the running back quite as open as you could what I'm about to show you later in the video breakdown. I'm going to show you something that's really cool as far as getting this running back open. So let's go ahead and run this. And we're not going to use press coverage right now. We're just going to run it as is. And then you're just going to look to throw this running back deep down the field where you can make that throw and complete it for a big play, in this case, a touchdown, which is nice, right? So that's the kind of thing we're looking for. But again, you can make it even that much easier on what I'm about to show here. What I want to do right now is I want to go into the X and O's of the play. And so we'll go into instant replay. We'll take a look at it a little bit more in depth as far as the X and O's behind this play. All right, from a top-down view, you really get a better idea how this play works as far as the X and O's. And the first thing I want to show you guys is this guy right here, this safety. This is going to be the free safety who's in man coverage on the running back with this particular defense I'm showing here. So what's going to happen here is he's going to be in man coverage. Now, I want you guys to watch as I go through this, and you're going to see that he kind of comes up right there as you're looking at it. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit on this so you guys can kind of really see this. So we'll zoom in a little bit, and you can see him coming up to cover that running back. Now, right there, as the running back breaks up the field, he kind of hits him a little bit. He kind of gives him a tap, and then he breaks up, and then he gets, a couple steps on him, and I'm able to make that throw deep down the field and complete it for a big passing play, such as what you see on your screen right there. So let's unzoom this, and you can see right there, he makes the catch, and he ends up going in for the score. So that's nice right there, and that's just with the tight end staying in the pass block over to the right. And then the other thing is we zoom in, you can see with the tight end staying in the pass block, we're able to pick up the six-man pass rush. Everybody's blocking everybody they're supposed to be blocking. We got plenty of time. We're in the pocket. We can sit here just for a little bit long enough to make the throw. Right at the last second, we make the throw before that one of the defensive players actually get off the block. But at any rate, we can still make the throw deep down the field and complete it for a big gain, or in this case, a touchdown. So that's what makes this play effective as far as attacking this type of coverage I'm showing is cover zero, as far as out of the nickel 2-4 over Storm Brave. Now what I want to do is show you something else you can do to even make it that much more, even that much better. So let's go and take a look at that. All right, I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier with the tight end staying in the pass block, but this time I'm going to use some motion here with him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hot route him to pass block, and then I'm going to motion him over to the left. And I wanted you guys to look at something as I show this to you as far as what the coverages are going to look like. So let's take a look at the coverages at this point now. And you can see now, earlier when I was showing this, that this safety, which is going to be this guy right here, was supposed to be covering the running back coming out of the backfield, but now he's covering the tight end. And then as you look, you have this guy over here. He's covering the running back now at this point. Now, sometimes you might find a switch later into play, but at any rate, at least by default right now, he's covering him. Regardless, that guy is way on the opposite side of where the running back's running that wheel route, which makes this play, in my opinion, even that much more effective. So what I want to show you here is I'm going to go in this time and go into press coverage. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the play. Now watch what happens here. See how he's got to come all the way across? And I still get a big play out of this, and I get a touchdown right there. So that's something else you might consider doing with this. Again, you can go ahead and hot route the tight end. It doesn't matter when you hot route the tight end, the pass block. You can just, at some point, you just got to hot route him. In this case, I just hot route him as he was coming across. But again, it's the same idea here. We're just looking to throw him over the top. Again, here comes that safety all the way across. Look how open this guy is. And then we end up getting in there for a score. So this is another way of running this that's going to allow you to kind of give it a different look, change up what your opponent's doing, and still get a big play. Now, what I want to show you next here as I go into this, well, let's go back into the instant replay real quick, back into the X&Os of the play, and then from there, what I want to do is I want to show you something happens when base align is turned on. All right, from the top-down view, you can kind of see what happens this time versus the first time I showed it to you. Remember earlier, I just mentioned this already to you guys, that the safety here was actually covering the running back initially when we first did this. But that was before we motioned the tight end over to the left-hand side. So now what happens is this guy, this safety, now covers the running back as you look at your screen, and he's got to come all the way across to cover him as he's running this wheel route out of the backfield, which in a lot of times is going to make him that much open. So let's go ahead and run this and look at this from the instant replay, and you'll see what I mean right there. See how he's coming all the way across as you look at it? Let's zoom in a little bit right there. And you can see right there, he's coming all the way across. Now, sometimes I've seen it happen where he may end up running into one of these guys who are running these hook routes. In this case, he might run into this guy right here, and it basically gets picked off. Now, this doesn't always happen, but sometimes he might. And then it's going to allow that running back to get that much more open. Regardless, you can see he's still quite a bit behind him, almost 5 yards by the time we make the throw. He catches up a little bit, but we end up almost going in for a score. At any rate, that's something to think about when you run this, is you motion that tight end over to the left, it could change up the pass coverages depending on what your opponent does as far as the base of line. That's what we're going to talk about next. All right, this time the defense has base line turned on. Now, this is going to change things up here as far as what happens when I put the tight end in motion. So I'm going to go ahead and run the play as is without making any adjustments outside of putting the tight end the pass block. So let's go ahead and run the play. We still get the same thing here as if we didn't do anything differently from earlier. Remember when we ran the play with the tight end lined up over there and we ran it? The safety, in this case, the free safety, still covers him in man coverage as far as with this particular play. So as you look at it, we're still going to get this man coverage right here on this defender right here. So this guy is still in man coverage on the running back with the tight end staying in the pass block. So nothing's changed there. But what if I go ahead and hot route the tight end to pass block, and then I want to go ahead and move him over here towards the left? All right, as you look at it. So let's look at this real close here. Now, this is going to change things up. As you look at it, if you remember right earlier when I did this, you got all kinds of whacked out things going on here. You got the running back basically being covered by two different defenders, which is not the case. Okay, I want you guys to understand that. That is not the case here. What's going to happen here is the tight end is going to pass block, and what's going to happen is the free safety is going to still cover the running back. So let's go ahead and take a look at that when I do this. And you'll see right here. Let's go ahead and run the play as you look at it. And then we're just going to go ahead and throw it over the top, hopefully make a big play deep down the field. I shouldn't probably hit the aggressive catch, but at any rate, you guys can see I made the catch for a big play. So the safety, the free safety still covered me as far as the running back. He still covered it, even though we're putting a tight end in motion because they're in base line on defense. So let's go ahead and run it one more time. The same thing here as you look at it. Right there, we'll just go with the aggressive catch and we make it. So anyway, you guys can see right there, we made the catch for a touchdown. So with base of line on, it changes up. The one thing on there is the free safety still covers the running back when you put the tight end in motion. So that's really it as far as with this particular play from what I wanted to show you guys as far as the way it runs, making it a pretty effective play that I believe will do a nice job as far as attacking man coverage. So this is definitely a play worth taking a look at out of this particular formation called the gun doubles Y off nasty. And the name of the play is called Snag Halfback Wheel, looking to get the running back wide open down the left sideline on the wheel route against cover 1 and cover 0 defenses.